The story of Cassie Howard in the television series Euphoria is a painful and intricate exploration of a young woman navigating a world of addiction, fractured self-worth, and desperate longing for love. At the heart of her turmoil, beyond the parties and the substances, lies a profound and often overlooked dynamic: her relationship with her younger sister, Lexi. This relationship acts as a silent amplifier for Cassie's deepest shame, a phenomenon we might call the sister wound. Where others judge Cassie, their judgments can be dismissed as misunderstanding or jealousy. But Lexi's judgment is different. It is not loud or cruel, it is quiet, observational, and born from a place of genuine concern and love. This very authenticity is what makes it so devastating for Cassie. Lexi does not merely witness Cassie's spiral, she bears quiet, intelligent witness to it, and her observance becomes a living mirror reflecting back a version of Cassie she is desperate to avoid. Every glance from Lexi, every hesitant question, every moment of Lexi choosing a different, quieter path intensifies the shame Cassie feels about her own chaotic and messy life. To understand this, we must look at their shared history. They grew up in the same unstable home, with an alcoholic father and a mother struggling to hold things together. They shared the same trauma, the same source of pain. Yet, they emerged from that battlefield with completely different survival strategies. Cassie's wound manifested externally. She learned, from a tragically young age, that her value was tied to her desirability, to her ability to receive love and attention from men. Her pain is soothed, however temporarily, by validation, by being wanted, even if that wanting is superficial and damaging. Lexi, on the other hand, internalized her wound. She became the observer, the quiet one, the girl who finds solace in books, in planning, in controlling the narrative from the sidelines. She coped by making herself small and watchful. This fundamental divergence in coping mechanisms sets the stage for their painful dynamic. Cassie is all feeling and impulse, a raw nerve ending seeking comfort. Lexi is all thought and analysis, a careful archivist of their family's pain. Because they started from the same place, Lexi's very existence is a testament to a road not taken. A potential version of Cassie that could have been. Cassie's shame is a constant hum in her life. It stems from her father's abandonment, her sexualization as a teenager, her public humiliations, and her addictive behaviors. She tries to outrun this shame by losing herself in relationships, most catastrophically with Nate Jacobs, a boy who represents the pinnacle of toxic masculinity and danger. She clings to these relationships not out of true love, but as a life raft, a way to prove she is lovable and thus worthy. When she is with Nate, she is not just making a bad choice, she is actively engaging in the very behaviors that source her shame. This is where Lexi's observance becomes a critical force. Lexi sees through the performance. She knows Cassie's history, she remembers the father who left, she witnessed the heartbreak over McKay, she understands the desperate need for male approval that fuels her sister. So when Cassie claims she is in a great, mature love with Nate, Lexi does not need to say much. A look of skeptical concern, a simple question like "Are you sure?" Or even just her choice to focus on her play, a play that meticulously documents their childhood, is enough. Lexi's silence is often louder than any argument. It is a silence filled with knowing, and that knowing is what Cassie cannot bear. For Cassie, being seen by Lexi is the ultimate exposure. It is one thing to be gossiped about by girls at school or judged by Rue, who is on her own tumultuous path. It is another thing entirely to be truly seen by the one person who shares your origin story. Lexi's observations are not clouded by drama or rivalry, they are clear-eyed and accurate. This accuracy is the knife. When Lexi writes their story into her play, Our Life, she is not being malicious. She is trying to make sense of their pain, to process it through art. But for Cassie, this act feels like the ultimate betrayal. It is not fiction to her, it is her most private shame displayed on a public stage. The character based on her is not a villain, but she is painfully recognizable, a girl governed by her need for love, making increasingly disastrous choices. Lexi's artistic observance transforms their private sisterly dynamic into a public spectacle. The shame Cassie felt under Lexi's gaze in their living room is now magnified 100-fold under the gaze of an entire auditorium. It is no longer just her sister seeing her failings, it is her entire world. The play forces Cassie to confront a narrative about herself that she has been running from, a narrative crafted by the person who knows her best. This dynamic reveals a brutal truth about family wounds: sometimes the people who love us most are the ones who can hurt us most deeply. Precisely because their love comes with a deep and intimate understanding. Lexi loves Cassie fiercely. Her concern is real. Her desire to help, to fix, to understand is genuine. But her tools are observation and analysis, while Cassie's needs are for unconditional acceptance and a love that does not see her flaws so clearly. Lexi's love feels conditional to Cassie because it is intertwined with a clear-eyed view of her destructive patterns. Every time Lexi chooses to not engage in chaos, to not chase a boy, to handle a situation with maturity, it is an unintentional indictment of Cassie's choices. Lexi's very stability is a constant, quiet reminder of Cassie's instability. This is the core of the sister wound. It is not about hatred or even direct conflict. It is about the unbearable weight of being fully known and still being perceived as lost. It is the pain of seeing your own potential for peace and health reflected in your sister's life while feeling incapable of reaching it yourself. Cassie's rage at Lexi, her explosive reaction to the play, is not just about embarrassment. It is the culmination of years of feeling microscopically seen by her sister's gentle, worried eyes. It is the shame of knowing that Lexi's version of their story is, in its essence, true. Ultimately, the relationship between Cassie and Lexi is a tragic dance of love and pain, observation and shame. Cassie is trapped in a cycle where her actions generate shame, and Lexi's loving but perceptive presence magnifies that shame, which in turn drives Cassie to more shameful actions seeking relief. Lexi, for her part, is trapped in the role of the witness, wanting to help but only pushing her sister further away with her insight. Their story shows us that healing cannot begin in the blinding light of someone else's observant love until one is ready to face oneself. Cassie's journey is not just about overcoming addiction or bad relationships, it is about learning to sit with her own shame without needing to either act it out or have it reflected back to her through Lexi's eyes. It is about integrating the broken parts of herself. And for Lexi, healing might mean learning that sometimes love requires a soft focus, that not every truth needs to be examined under the bright light of analysis, and that saving her sister is not her responsibility. Their wound is a shared one, inflicted by their past, but it is manifested in two starkly different lives. Until they can bridge the gap between Cassie's world of feeling and Lexi's world of thought, until they can see each other not as mirrors of failure or judgment but as fellow survivors walking different, equally difficult paths, the silent echo of the sister wound will continue to haunt them both, a quiet testament to the complicated, painful, and enduring bond of family.